Often when we think about communication, we think mostly about speech, but speech is only one way of the many ways human beings communicate with each other. Many autistic people have a very complicated relationship with speech for many reasons, ranging from physical processes such as apraxia, anxiety-impacted processes like situational mutism or verbal shutdown, speech being exhausting for people who are hyperverbal. Human beings also communicate through tone of voice, body language and movement, hand signals like sign language, facial expressions, symbols or images, devices, written text or braille, behaviours and emotions. All these things can look very different for autistic people. Neurotypical people tend not to be aware of those differences, so there are a lot of assumptions made about autistic communication. Often those assumptions are framed around normative ideas about how it is best to communicate, where neurotypical communication styles are usually expected and seen as the best, or even the only way people should communicate. Studies like Diversity in Social Intelligence from Edinburgh University have evidence that autistic people tend to communicate well with other autistic people. In a similar way, neurotypical people tend to communicate well with other neurotypical people. But barriers exist between groups with different communication styles and needs. If you look at the barriers between autistic and neurotypical communication as cultural differences, it helps us to reframe our understanding. Currently, it is expected that autistic people must communicate like non-autistic people and conform to non-autistic social conventions. But the insistence that autistic people drop their innate social communication skills and adhere to non-autistic ones, without autistic social communication conventions ever being adopted or validated, is an imposition, a form of cultural imperialism. Due to the way autistic people process sensory information and use monotropic focus, autistic communication tends to be much more direct than non-autistic communication. Autistic communication tends to be more framed around information exchange rather than social conventions. Autistic people tend to communicate using info dumping, whereby long strings of information are passed back and forth, usually framed around information needed or needing to be passed on at the time. From an autistic perspective, non-autistic people often assume that they are excellent communicators, and autistic people are pathologized for being poor communicators. This is a biased view that negates the fact that communication is bidirectional. It takes at least two to communicate, so no one party is solely to blame for communication breakdowns.